it's Liz Yuille from Old Stables Crafts. Thank you very much for joining me again today. Today I am bringing you a card that I'm making with the Tuscan Vineyard. I've already started it, but I haven't finished it. This is the card that I am making for my Father's Day card. It's actually getting to my father late because he was away, as was I, on the weekend of Father's Day. So we're having a bit of a shunted Father's Day. So, as I say, Tuscan Vineyard, so let's get going. What I've already done is, oops, throwing something on the floor, is I have already stamped and fussy cut the bunch of grapes, and I'm now going to stamp and die cut the oval. I'm sorry if there are noises off. My husband has decided that whilst I'm filming is a really, really good time to dust outside, and by dust I mean I'm next to the patio and it's getting very cobwebby. So he's doing a really good job, but the timing's not great for me. So I have a small piece of Whisper White. It's effectively a scrap, and I've mounted the little vineyard scene here on a block, and I'm using Stampin' Right markers. Now, a lot of the Stampin' Right markers I'm using are the new colours, and you can get, this is the other ones, you can get all the new colours in the Stampin' Right markers. On page 182, there's information about all the new in colours. So you've got the assortment pad, stamp pad, and if you get that, which is all of the new in colour, all of the new colour revamp colours, it doesn't include Basic Grey, because Basic Grey, although it is changing formula, is still carrying over, if you see what I mean. So it doesn't include that, but it includes all the others, and you get that at a bundle. Then again, the Stampin' Right markers, excluding Basic Grey, you can get together but not a bundle, and also all the new cardstock together, not as a bundle. This does actually arrive in 2 packs. One's the new colours and one's the the old ones coming back. Once I had a brain. Anyway, so you can get all those colours to make up the ones that you don't have, just in case you've got everything. Now I will be using some soft suede, shaded spruce, Merry Merlot. Actually, I'm not using Merry Merlot, but I used it for the grapes, because why wouldn't I? This is Mossy Meadow and Balmy Blue. So I'm actually going to be colouring, as I say, I don't need that one, but I wanted to include it just so you knew I had. I am going to be colouring straight onto the stamp, because you can with the Stampin' Right markers. So if you are on a bit of a restricted budget, this is a great way of getting all the colours without having to get all of the ink pads. Now, when you colour onto a stamp, it is best to use the side, not the point. You will be using the point for bits, but ideally concentrate on using the side. Now, doing this, it's always useful to have your picture in front of you, but remember it is flipped round. So these trees on this side are over on the left, on the right, so just remember the right is left and the left is right, but I do want those to be Mossy Meadow as well. Right, that one comes round to there, and then we get into some spruce. And that is just shading, so that's fine. This is all kind of shrubbery, and there's a tree there. And then I also want to do some of the meadow and the mountains with Mossy Meadow. And just fill this in. Right, so, is that a lake? No, it's not, it's a road. It's a road, it's fine. Now, I should probably have started with the sky, because Balmy Blue is the palest colour. So I'm actually going to do that now, before I get too close to the skyline. So yes, this is the great thing about our Stampin' Right markers, is that they are exactly the same colours as the ink pads, and indeed they are exactly the same ink because they're refillable. And what you do is you very gently pull the nib out and drop some more ink in. I have done a video on it, so right, let's do the shaded spruce next. Now what's that? That's going to be ground, so we'll come back to that in a moment. Now I'm not worried if I'm not completely accurate, and I will explain that in a moment. So this is all, that's basically all spruce. It's probably actually cypress, but it's fine, we can do it in spruce. That's shading, that's spruce. So let's get some shading in as well. Now this is our house, which I will do in soft suede. It's not terribly easy to see it all, but as I say, it doesn't matter too much if you're not 100% accurate, and I will explain that later. And then I'm going to add some more of the soft suede down here. Right, fingers crossed. I'm going to huff on there and then press that down really firmly. Fingers crossed. Yay! Okay. So, what I'm then going to do is add in some more colour. So, let's bring in another block, and I'm going to add my colours to my blocks. Actually, I might just, yeah, no, that's going to be enough. It's going to be fine. I don't think I need any more shaded spruce. Right, and I have a blender pen, and I'm going to just pick up some extra colour and colour this in. I'm not worrying too much if I go over the edge because I'm going to die cut this, and the die that I'm going to use is very slightly smaller than this image. So it's not soft suede, yes. It's not too much of an issue, and this is why I said I'm not too worried if I don't pick everything up, as in catch all of the bits of the stamp, because I'm coming back in and smooching it all round. Bit of the mossy meadow. And the house. See, that needs a bit of extra colour in there because that's basically been left white, so I obviously missed that completely, but it's fine, it will be fine. Now the only thing I would say is try not to smush over the shaded spruce too much, because it is quite a strong colour and it's quite easy to transfer, so you want to go up to it at this point and not into it. And then this we can just pick up in between. Do not try not to go over the same area too much with the blender pen, or you will find that it will pill. Right, and at this point I can then come in and do my spruce and just soften that all down a bit. Scribble that off. Let's just add a bit more soft suede. basically what you want to do is make sure you don't end up with any white areas, because, well, you just don't really. So there we are. Right, okay, so that's that. So I'm just going to die cut that with one of the layering oval dies. I've used the layering oval for this, and for the mats I've actually used the stitch shapes. You could just use the layering ovals if you don't have the stitch shapes. So I'm just going to run this through my Big Shot. And there we go, and as I say, I've cut the very extreme edge off, so that is fine. And then this mats onto this balmy blue mat. So I'm just going to grab my wet glue and just scribble. That's probably too much rather than not enough. And then just... because it's the wet glue, it means you can move it round so it is exactly where you want it, and then you can rub the back and it's fine. So I am actually just going to come in with some Wink of Stella and just add some of that to the grapes, just as a bit of added subtle bling. And then just find a scrap to clean that off. Right, okay, so the basic card is going to be crumb cake, and this is just a piece of A4 cut in half and scored down the middle. And then just crease that. And I have got a piece of the Tranquil Textures cardstock. This is all of the pieces. Now this has balmy blue in it, so I reckoned that that was going to work well, and this is crumb cake, so it's a good, and then, so this is the sort of more subtle side, and then these are the, what I would call the bolder prints, although I don't know which is the more subtle of that one. But I've cut this to 5 5/8 by 3 7/8, which is my usual size mat. But before I stick that down, I want to build this up. And can you see? Oh, it's lovely. Can you? Will the light catch it? Can you see that? I think you just about can. Just adds that little bit of something. So I'm going to have that so that it pops under there, I think. Or am I going to have it so it pops under there? Or there. Oh, decisions. No, I think we'll go that way. And I've popped this up on dimensionals, because for once I could find them on my desk. So we'll just add a scribble on there and a scribble on there. And pop this one down first, just in the top corner. And then this one. Pop there. I do like to just smooth it from the back, and then I'm going to add in some linen thread, and I'm going to add quite a bit of this. So 1, 2, 3, cut that off. And I have already run this through my bone folder, so I've just taken my bone folder, because it's carded, and just straightened out any of the carding marks, because you do get the kinks otherwise. And then I'll just tie this in a knot over to this side. Whoops. Maybe. Come on, play ball. There we go. And then I can just spread that out a bit. It's always quite nice to have the one you've tied the knot in as the top layer. That's better. Right, scissors. So just cut that off and we can put it all together. So again, I'll do it on the back, I think. I'm going to add a little bit of liquid adhesive if it would like to come out. Don't need a lot, just a bit to hold it down. It's all you're doing is holding it in place. Don't go mad. And then pop that down. And then, as I say, I like to just smooth it from the back. And then, while that's doing its thing, I've got a piece of just ordinary Whisper White, and I've already mounted up the corks, these cork image here, and then just with crumb cake, I'm going to ink that up and pop that down in the bottom right hand corner, like that. And then I can probably use a bit of snail for this, just for speed and to show that one can use snail. You don't have to use the liquid adhesive, but I do find that the liquid adhesive is a stronger adhesive, so particularly because I've got the linen thread on the front, I want something that's a little tougher, because snail can, if it's not absolutely flat, it can pop up a bit. So there we are. Now I'm wondering, we have got these lovely new metallic pearls, which look like a teeny weeny packet, but you actually get 242. They're just put really close together. So I think I'm going to add a few of these onto my card. Now, as you know, if you've been watching me for any time at all, I like odd numbers. So I think I'm going to add 3. 1, 2. Yeah, 3. There we are, just as a finishing touch, a little finishing flourish. So there you go. Don't forget to use your markers to ink up your stamps. You can. So I hope you enjoyed that. A little bit of stamping in there as well. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. I'm just hoping my father will enjoy the card. If you don't already subscribe, there's a button just down in the bottom right hand corner there. You can also subscribe to my blog, and you get a notification. I'm just going to clean my stamps while I'm talking to you. You get a notification that I have posted whenever I do, if you sign up for the email notification. You can always also sign up for my newsletter, and both of those are available on my blog post, which is linked immediately below here. So just pop over to my blog and you will find that. All the dimensions and everything I've used will also be in my blog post. The host code for this month is immediately below in the description bar and over on my blog. But the blog is the best place to go for my host code, because if you're watching this after the month has closed, I don't go back and redo the host codes for all my videos, because I've got over 400 now, and it would take a while. So just bear that in mind. Thank you very much indeed for watching, and I will see you again very soon, I hope. Bye!